Every visionary has a story to tell. These stories educate and inspire us all.
You could hear them cranking up in the morning and hear the click, click, click of the roller coaster.
It's really feeling satisfied and feeling gratified with bringing happiness to young children, especially families.
Working with people who are having a good time is so much better than any other job.
Join us as we learn from these trailblazers.
I'm a songwriter, and I originally was writing popular music with my brother Robert, and we were writing pop tunes, had a few hits, and one day we happened to write a hit for a little girl named Annette Funicello, and she was a Mouseketeer, and Walt's pet. I think he was very fond of her, and the song was Tall Paul, He's My All. And that caught his attention, and the Disney record company started asking us to write more things for Annette, which we did. And eventually, one day, Walt decided to put Annette in a film. So he was going to put her in a film called The Horse Masters, and he asked us to write a song for that. They asked us to write a song. And we had to play it directly for Walt, because anything that went into a film, the boss had to hear. And he liked it very much, and he gave us more assignments. And he gave one after another, and we wrote songs for the Parent Trap with Haley Mills, and we had a big hit called Let's Get Together, Yay, Yay, Yay. And we wrote a lot of other songs for Zorro's episodes and things. And one day Walt pulled a book down from his shelf, and it was Mary Poppins by Pamela Travers. And that became our doorway into the Disney studio, because he loved our ideas for what we could do for that particular book. And he put us under contract, and we became Walt Disney staff songwriters for the entire 60s, all the 60s. And into the 70s. And our relationship with Disney has continued for the past 50 years, so we have a very long history with him. Oh, the first time we met Walt Disney, I'll never forget it. Actually, we had come in to play the song for the Horse Masters, for Annette, and the first thing he said to us is, you fellas, are you really brothers? Because in vaudeville we used to have acts and we never were brothers. We'd always call ourselves brothers. He said, no, we're really brothers. You know, he was making us feel at home. He said, no, we really have the same parents. He said, oh, I see, that's good, that's good. You know, he was just kind of cute with us. And then he said, now this picture. And he started telling us the story of the Parent Trap. And we were dying because we were saying, we were meeting this legend for the first time, and we have a song for Annette in this different picture. So my brother, who's brave, he said, Mr. Disney, we came here with a song for Annette to sing in the Horse Masters. He said, oh, why did you let me go on like this? So I think he was saying it to himself, because well, how do you stop a legend from talking? So he says, come with me. So we played the song for him. And his very famous acceptance words was, yep, that'll work. That's all he would say. He never would say great, wonderful, marvelous. Never came out of him. He would only say, yep, that'll work. And that was Walt Disney. But you knew when he said that somebody else would have been saying, perfect, right on there, but never him. To other people he would say it. He'd say, oh, they wrote the perfect number for this or something. That was our first meeting with Walt. And from the first meeting, he liked us, I guess, and he liked our songs, and he kept giving us these assignments. So we developed a great fondness for him, and actually, we adored him when, you know, we worked him for years, and I miss him to this day. Bob and I had been writing a lot of songs for the projects, for the various projects. And one day, Walt said, you know, I want you to go down to stage 4. I have something mocked up there, and I want you to see it. So he said, what is it? He said, you'll see it when you get there. So, okay, so I remember there was about 5 of us that came down to stage 4 after lunch one day. And this was late 1962, early 63. And we walked into this big, vast room, there's a sound stage, and there in a corner was a tropical room, 4 walls. And I remember a fellow named Wathel Rogers was sitting in a little booth on the side of it. And it was all dark and everything. And there were some bridge chairs in the middle. And Walt was there. He said, okay, you guys just sit over here. Okay, so he sat us down in these bridge chairs. And he said, okay, well, let's start it up. So lights came up, and you heard pre-recorded music and everything. And then you saw it coming down from above, a chandelier filled with birds and orchids and everything, all moving and singing. And they were singing, "Let's All Sing Like the Birdies Sing." I remember that. And I couldn't believe what I was looking at. And everybody was saying, huh. Now, when it was all over, the whole show went on with everything from the Hawaiian war chant at the end with the rain coming down and the tiki torches going, hugga bugga, hugga bugga, and all that stuff. It was all over. And I remember Larry Clemens, a comedy writer at the studio, he was a good writer, and he said to Walt, what the hell is this? So he says, that's what everybody asks. They don't know. And he looked right at Bob and myself. He says, you guys are going to write me a song that'll explain what this thing is, so when it starts, people are ready for it. Huh? Oh, right, Walt, right. He says, so what kind of a song do you think you want to write? Just, we had to think fast. I mean, because he was very fast, and he knew we were pretty fast. So we said, well, it's a tropical room, and it's calypso would be a nice kind of a rhythm for it. How about a calypso rhythm? He says, yeah, calypso, very good. Now, what do you want to call it? So I said, what's it called? He says, well, we're calling it the Enchanted Tiki Room. Oh, Enchanted Tiki Room. Well, that's kind of a drab title. Tiki's a good word, though. And I said, tiki, tiki, and Bob said, tiki, tiki, tiki. Yeah, we'll call it the Tiki, Tiki, Tiki Room. Just like that. It was good. Calypso, Tiki, Tiki, Tiki Room, very good. When am I going to have it? I need it yesterday. I said, what? He says, because we're going to open this thing at Disneyland, and I want it to be right. And we need this song. And so I said, well, it's too bad you have these cockatoos and other kinds of birds. You don't have a parrot. If you had a parrot, you could believe he'd be singing and talking and everything. He said, we'll have 4 parrots. We'll have a French parrot, and we'll have a Spanish parrot, and we'll have a German parrot. This is good. So I said, okay, great. He said, we'll have 4 parrots, and they'll be singing the song. So I need it right away. So we went back to our room, and we wrote a little song called the Tiki, Tiki, Tiki Room. It's been playing for 48 years at Disneyland, 47 years. We decided we're going to do a calypso, and a calypso has a definite, distinctive rhythm, which is, that's a calypso rhythm. So we said, well, put that, and we're going to use that wonderful word tiki. We're going to play with that. So we decided to do let's do 5 tikis. In the tiki, 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 tiki room. In the tiki, 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 tiki room. All the birds sing words and the flowers croon. So you're explaining stories. In the tiki, 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 tiki room. And it was always the same. There's the assignment, you tell the story. You try to expand the story, explain the story. It's exactly what you write if you're writing a song for a character in a film, or if you're writing a pop song, you have to write a good story that arrests your interest. But we're given this great leg up in the fact that we have an attraction to enhance or to create an explanation for it. And that's what it's all about. It's a spirit. It's all part of the same thing. These attractions are all created by people who have great emotions about what they're doing. And so we have to translate it musically, that's all. They were creating this wonderful salute to the children of the world. It's a world famous thing today, but at the time it was brand new. It was being written, being created by the Imagineers to salute the various children. Now they had these marvelous dolls. By now they had the audio animatronics down pretty well, and so they had the dolls moving and in rhythm and everything. And they were going to have these groups of dolls who are beautifully costumed and everything, singing the national anthems of the various countries. And on paper, it's brilliant, it's just great. But you put that all in one room, and it's a mess. And there again, we were called down to a sound stage at the studio. Walt wants to have you down there at 2 o'clock, and so we started walking through this attraction. And it was very impressive when we first started walking in and seeing these dolls. It was not with water, of course, it was just a serpentine trek. And so we were walking through it, and about 20 feet or 30 feet into it, all of a sudden, you couldn't make out one tune from another. It was all kind of horrible. And Walt finally said, okay, kill it. And he looked right at us, Bob, and he said, you're going to write me a song that'll explain this thing. We're now one song, right? You see, right, Walt, right. He He said, I want a little round. I said, round? That would drive people crazy. How about if we did a counterpoint, two little pieces that could be fit together? He said, yeah, that's what I said, a round. I said, no. So he said, I know what you mean. You want to play a simple melody put together with, that type of thing. I said, right. So he says, okay, that's what I need, but now I need it right away. It was UNICEF salutes the children of the world and everything. It's a lot of words. How about it's a small world after all? It's a simple statement, and let's not hurt each other. Let's learn to live together. He said, that's right. It's a spirit, but don't make it preachy. Make it simple so it can be translated. He was very aware of the fact he wanted to translate it into different languages, and so eventually we wound up with this simple little song. We thought it was too simple, really, and we were waiting. We were trying to write a better one, and we kept trying to write something else. And we got a phone call from Walt. He was right down the hall from us, and he said, I want to hear my song. So he said, okay, Walt, come over. So he came over to the office, and Bob said, play the first one. So the first one was It's a Small World After All. And he said, yeah, that'll work. Come with me. So, wow, we got into his car. We drove over to WDI, which was Walt Disney Imagineering. We went over there, and all the brilliant guys were sitting in this tiny little room with a piano up against the wall. And Walt said, I want you to hear this. So all these guys who had been creating this wonderful ride heard the theme song for the first time. When we got the assignment to write this song that was not going to be sung by any one language, but in many languages, we decided we have to do a very simple repetition. So we came up with, it's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. The one thought, it's a small world after all. It's a small, small world. That was what the basic theme was. But the counter melody told you what it was all about. And that's where let's not kill each other. Let's learn to love each other and live together. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hopes and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. There's only a few people in the world that have this incredible magnetism. He could tell a story and you could see the whole thing happening just by the way he talked about it. His enthusiasm was incredible. And every once in a while he'd have a little expression like he'd say, and then we'll do that and things. And he'd just say, and things. And that's the key. I got to think of the things to come up to please him. This is one of the things I'm going to do. He kept you like that. It was just, but he did this to everybody. It was just his magical way. I mean, there's only one Walt Disney. I've never met anybody that comes near him. I work for a lot of brilliant producers, other people that are really very good and inspiring guys, but there's only one Walt Disney, only one. He would talk about this carousel of progress and how people were going to sit down in one auditorium and the auditorium was going to swing around so that we'd have these different elements of time changing. And he said, with the time changing, can you make the music change? We said, well, yeah, we'll do it in a different style. And so we talked invariably about how much he wanted and what he needed. And he was a very inspiring guy. I remember we walked out of that meeting, when we had this meeting, and I think it was Bob or I forget who said, we said, well, Walt has a dream and that's the start. Walt has a dream and that's the start. Ooh, that's Walt has, no, let's say man has a dream and that's the start. Hey, that's a good line for the song. And that if you listen to Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, the whole bridge of the song is man has a dream and that's the start. Follows his dream with mind and heart. It was all Walt Disney. The song was Walt Disney, really. It was all about Walt. Because he was a great believer in the future. He was a futurist. And he thought tomorrow is going to be more exciting and thrilling than today. It was always his concept. And so Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow came out of our feeling about what Walt felt. We felt the same way. Walt's idea about tomorrow is wonderful things are happening and new things are cooking all the time. And so his optimism about the future was sung in, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a dream away. Man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream with mind and heart. And when it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. How much he loved what he did. How much he really personally loved what he did. One day, this is about 3 years after we came to the studio, my wife and I had spent a wonderful day at Disneyland. It was a great, great day. And we were lingering because we didn't want to leave. We had such a great time. And so we were on Main Street right near where the theater is. You know, the Mickey Mouse Theater is there. And our new window, the Sherman Brothers window is right there. Oh yeah. But this was about 40 years earlier, 45. There I was standing with my wife, and down the end of the street, a solitary figure is walking. And I said, "That's Walt, honey. Let's stop and tell him how much we loved it today." So we waited, and he came up to us and he said, "Hello, Dick," and "Hello, Elizabeth." He's talking to my wife and myself. And I said, "Walt, we wanted to wait to tell you how much we enjoyed the park today. It was just such a kick. I mean, we went on everything, and we had such a great, great time. And when Tinkerbell flew across the sky and the fireworks were going off and the music was playing, I just burst into tears. I mean, they were happy tears, but I was crying like a baby. And he looked right at me and said, "You know, I do that every time." And he says, "Well, drive carefully when you go home." And he went up over the fire engine where, you know, the firehouse where his apartment was. And that was Walt.